I'm ready. Strapped in.
Shut up. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? I don't know if you can see me, so I'm gonna get right into it and put it right back on and get it back going. And once again, I don't know if you can hear me or not. And so basically, you basically probably hear my little punk dog crying in the background. Ignore him. But we're gonna get right into the conversation and just get it going. And I just want to make sure that audio is perfect. I'm not exactly sure if you can hear me, but that's fine. If not, somewhere through the along the lines, I will see the comments and see that you guys can hear me. 1 second, I'm gonna put us on mute real quick. Let me handle this dog because there should be no noise in the background. And but we're gonna get right into the conversation. So 1 second, just give me a second. Bear with me. Okay, everybody. So we just gonna join right in on the conversation. Basically, so once again, it's your girl Red Gal Sash, and we are on Let's Talk About It. I am here tonight without my co-host tonight, and we're gonna join into the conversation. Once again, join into the comments. If you can't join the live, that is fine. The comments is what it really is, and right now tonight is really just my point of view on a lot of things on this. So we're going to focus on mental health, narcissistic relationships, focusing on dating during COVID because now everything is the nostalgia of COVID and dating. Mental health is a really big thing, as well as relationships, the same thing. Also, I have a really spicy question. I did not put it in a topic line because this is a very controversial episode, and so I really want to get into that and just basically just talking about that and me as a woman, as a single woman, as an African American woman, these comments and everything. Well, this particular conversation leads into dating and single dating in a relationship. Before we get started, let's shout out a couple of my collaborators. Let's shout out to hotelcollection.com. Hotelcollection.com is one word. This Kindle is a long lasting Kindle. I think I had this Kindle probably like 3 months since we started our partnership with them. And this is the Great Gatsby or the Gatsby candle. And then we have this beautiful diffuser. Now it is really a nice diffuser. I think I only poured the oil in here probably once. It is long lasting. It's called the Sweetest Taboo. It smells really good. So even if you don't have time to like get an incense, a diffuser, go to Bath and Body Works or whatever you go to have your smell list for your house. You can try the Hotel Collection. So once again, it is Hotel Collection, all one word. .com. Use my code Christina 20. Christina is with a K. That is all capitalized letters with the number 20. Once again, I would love to shout out thewear.com for this bomb sweater short set outfit. It is Buffalo is going through some bipolar weather. So right now we don't know if we in winter or we in spring or we having an Indian winter frame. So I have this on in the comfort of my home because we are not in the studios. I also want to shout out everybody tonight because it is Christmas Eve. So happy holidays to everybody for whatever religion that you celebrate. From my family to yours, from the Let's Talk About It family to yours, from Slacks and Fusions, and all of our other collaborators if I did not speak out to you tonight. So we're going to get right into the commentary of talking about, let's talk about it first. Let's talk about mental health through the holidays. That is one of the main sources. We have talked about mental health multiple times. in regards to just maintaining mental health. Mental health. Now, over the last 2 years, we have basically we were not necessarily forced into house in our homes and where we can't, but for the safety and the preservation of life, we are in our homes where we have to socially distance and things like that. And it becomes really hard, especially if you have a small family or you have no family at all and you solely depend on these social interactions for your fellow family. And I'm just saying it that way because um, that's what it is. You're getting your fix on, being with family and things like that. Mental health through the holidays. Now, one thing about us focusing on mental health is to simply state that we don't talk about it enough in the African American community. And by us not talking about it enough in the African American community, we shunned it. So going to, people suffer from all of these traumas and they carry over into parenting and they carry over into relationships. And we can see the catastrophe from it. And so mental health, you obtaining healthy mental health, that is part of self love. So there is nothing wrong with going to a psychiatrist or a person that handles a mental health counselor or a psychologist or nothing like that. Let's get into normalizing and the normalcy of saying that we need to focus on our mental health. So multiple things. Once again, thank you for joining the live. Thank you. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to Let's Talk About It page on YouTube, Instagram, Anchor, and you will see all of our like background stuff on Vivo Live. But just get into the conversation. So once again, back into mental health. We're gonna focus on narcissistic relationships. Um, Merry Christmas once again to who is ever jumping into the live. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. So once again, let me just reiterate once again, we're going to talk about mental health, narcissistic relationships. I got a real spicy little ending to it. I'm going to tell y'all about it now so we can get into it, but I'm going to put that towards the end because I know that is spicy. So mental health through the holidays, during COVID, dating with relationships, narcissistic relationships, and we want to talk about something that I basically like scoured the internet for me and my co-host Antonio Casanova. We scoured the internet, we found this, and we just thought it was really spicy. So basically, what it is saying, African American women, we are skipping out on long-lasting relationships simply because we choose not to date bisexual men, and we choose not to shoot our shot first, and we are skipping out on long-lasting and happy relationships. So once again, I know that is spicy. It's towards the end. I just really want to focus on mental health once again. We don't talk about mental health a lot within the African American community. And so what we need to really focus on getting into the normalcy of maintaining a healthy mind because that focuses that transcends over into relationships, it transcends over into parenting, it transcends into our jobs, and all of that is important. Don't ever let anybody tell you going to see a psychologist that what you need to do to better yourself should ever be a joking manner. Do what you need to do and screw what everybody else has to say about mental health. We have to get into African American, brown, black community. We have to get into normalizing that our mental health is wealth and is important. That we maintain the most healthiest mind. So with COVID going on and things being what it is, we don't necessarily want to talk about it, but alcoholism is on the rise, suicides are on the rise. There are multiple things that are on the rise from us being stuck in a house for 2 years. It is 2 years, really, let's just keep it up. And eventually, at some point, even the strongest person is going to crack and kind of going to break dealing with what's going on. And then a lot of it is a lot of built up energy and anger from them not being able to express it how you want to express it. People dying, we are not being able to lay them to rest properly. Those are all of the things that we focus on with mental health. So once again, um, Mental health is important. Make sure you get your vitamin D because during the wintertime, lack of vitamin D is a vitamin. Yeah, boosts your immune system, but it also helps with your immunity and your mental health. The days are, the days it's not sunny outside. Everybody grumpy. Nobody want to get up. So continue to make sure you maintain your body, healthy body. Once again, we want to continue to focus on mental health. Mental health is a major thing. I don't ever want anybody to feel uncomfortable with their kids. People should always get a therapist, and that's what I'm saying. Like we got it to get into the normalcy of saying, "Hey, I need help." Don't let them self help. This in the wonderful world of Google and know hows and everything for dummies, and that's just the books. Okay, people think that they can self diagnose themselves. They shouldn't be. They should do that. We also, it also is important to reflect to know that where we do wrong, and where things that we need to improve. That's about self awareness. But mental health, like I said, it plays into multiple sections of our life. And if you are not healthy mentally wise, you are no good to anybody, not even yourself. And so, with that being said, make sure that you are reaching out to, if you don't have any family members that you can talk to, make sure that you are reaching out to crisis centers. There are mental health things online if you feel uncomfortable with the COVID situation going on. Um, there are mental health hotlines, and they now have psychologists and psychiatrists online. And get into let's. There's nothing wrong with having a mental illness. Is when you choose not to take responsibility for you having it, so that you can maintain healthy relationships with your kids and things like that. Um, I think that's when we start falling into accountability. And once we do that and us focusing, everybody just has some points with mental health. I don't care what anybody tells you. There is no day that you wake up and you feel perfect and your mind is on straight. Shit happens. And that's what happens, and that's what's always going to happen. And as long as life is continuing to change and we continue to always roll with the punches, we don't ever feel like you are less than a human being because your mental health is key. I have stopped relationships. I have stopped jobs because my mental health was at play. And so once we do that, we don't have pretty much any problems with that. And yeah, most definitely, we most definitely also need to check up on our friends and family. Like I said, if you do not have anybody to talk to, that's why there are crisis hotlines. But you should always have one person that you confide in. If you don't, get into the process. And somebody used this for me as a child. I suffered from depression from 13 to 19. And it really worked because I didn't feel comfortable talking with people because I wasn't comfortable with myself and admitting certain things. Um, but make sure you journal. Journal is another form of therapy, and if you can go ahead and do that, we will be great. Focusing on, once again, multiple things. So we're going to shift right in because it's going to be a little bit of a longer conversation than what I normally have. So because I want to talk about everything and do this wrap up for the new year and just end these things that I want to talk about and just get it done. We want to focus on, so we'll play it all in together, okay? So are we skipping out on long lasting relationships, women, we because bisexual men are not the hot commodity? Um, as the gay community comes in the forefront of bringing their I'm coming out moment, and that's no pun intentionally, but as they're coming in the forefront and they're being recognized as a community of people where there's bullying and being transgender, non-binary, etc., etc., etc. Basically, what they're saying is that, and I found this through a podcast, and one of my fellow broadcasters and podcasters made this, and she was basically saying like, we're missing out on dope ass relationships because we choose not to date bisexual men, and then she categorized us all into saying that we're biphobic. I'm not biphobic. I just choose not to date a bisexual man. That's my personal preference. That's what I like. I don't feel comfortable, and this is once again, I love the gay community, but this is my personal opinion. So if you get mad and get in them inboxes, you know I don't care. I'm not comfortable with dating a bisexual man, knowing in the back of my mind that he possibly has some type of sexual content. I'm keeping it really, really clean because we're on YouTube. Um, he's been with another man or he kissed another man. I don't want that in my mind. In some way, shape, or form, I feel like it's going to create insecurity. And I don't think skipping out on me choosing not to date a bisexual man, that is preference. Just like a preference for a gay man or a trans person to date another trans person or a heterosexual man, that is your personal preference. It doesn't make me biphobic because biphobic would mean that I don't want them nowhere in the vicinity of me. And I have a problem with them maintaining, I have a problem with them with their person in general, and that's not it. I just don't want to be with no bisexual man. I'm sorry, it's just me, pineapple. That's how I feel about it. And I don't think that we should be categorized. Now, I will say this. I will say that this particular writer was so adamant and so passionate about why we don't date bisexual men. I don't think that she dates bisexual men, and that's fine. That's for you. That's not for everybody. Um, some people have it would be a funny way. I'm thinking of scenarios. So it would be a funny way to transition to your children. Hey, I date this guy, but he dates guys on the side. Him being bisexual is his sexuality. Him trying to get me to agree or talk with me about dating him, he can be the best friend in the world. That is fine. I just don't want to have sex with you. I'm not going to have sex with you. Once again, I have no problem with you being bisexual. I just don't think heterosexual women are skipping out on long lasting relationships because they choose not to date bisexual men. That, honestly, that shit is nuts. Where did you get that from? Um, it's probably slimmer pickings because there aren't many women that are willing to accept dating a bisexual man. And I don't want to be feeling guilty because I chose not to date you. Same thing with me shooting my shot first. I shot my shot. That don't mean I'm gonna get a long lasting relationship. Every time with any relationship, everything is a freaking toss up, right? It's a toss up. It's gonna always be a toss up with anybody because you don't know how this person is really gonna be as far as like mental health, credit, baby mamas, all, baby daddies. Me shooting my shot first is not going to determine if I'm gonna get in a long lasting relationship. And it just sounds like the person that ever came up with that silly ass topic really is a person that's lonely and the women that you're choosing, they're not what you want them to be. So let's get into the comfortability of saying if there's a chance that if you shoot your shot, you might be in a long lasting relationship. But this person could have told you all through the dating process of y'all talking that they were everything that you needed to be, and that falls into narcissism. That's everything that you needed to be because that's what you told them, that's what you desire. And then this person is nothing like that. This person is a narcissist. And ladies, let's stop using narcissism for everything because narcissism doesn't apply to every relationship. He a fucking weirdo, he's a fucking weirdo. That's just what it is. Like, it's not a narcissist because narcissism, a person plays into your emotions, they play into your likes, into your wants. They play into things. They basically, you told them what you needed from them, and like a playwright, they played it out for you. That's narcissism. because you don't understand the dynamics of a relationship. Now you want to scream narcissism. And I believe y'all, the main reason why a lot of women are using narcissism because it's a new word and it sounds great. It's a big word. It sounds like you know a lot. But if you don't know the definition of it and being a person that was in a real life narcissistic abusive relationship, you got to know the difference. You got to know when it's just somebody playing you and he's playing you. And then there's a person that's a narcissist and making you feel guilty for everything you do. And that happens for men and women. This is not just about women. This is about men and women and us building healthy relationships and focusing on our mental health. All of this stuff that I'm talking about tonight all coincides together. So us skipping out on gay men, bisexual men, not gay men, bisexual men. Um, I, I, I personally, and maybe somebody needs to break this down, and it's just probably lack of knowledge. I really don't think there is a thing as bisexual men. Yeah, you feel like women are beautiful. Right? It doesn't make me bisexual because I thought a woman was beautiful. I thought she had beautiful bodies. I thought she looked nice in her dress. And, oh, hey, she got a big butt. Because if I see a big butt, I'm looking. But I don't want us to get into that. So I don't want to get into saying like I'm bashing you because you're bisexual. I'm saying I don't think there is. If you like men, you like men. If you like women, you like women. Or you like both. That's your preference. I'm not gonna knock you to do it, but we have to get into saying that we're not skipping out on long lasting relationships simply because we choose not to date bisexual men. I really don't know anybody that has dated any bisexual men, so I can't really speak or be the spokesperson for that. But we need to get comfortable with talking about all of these things um, because we're in a new generation of people. So you know things that were once normal before they are normal now, and or we're not comfortable talking about. We need to bring these to the forefront. Mental health, dating bisexual men. Um, it's whatever is your preference. I don't know. Why don't get in the comments and tell me how you feel about it. Like I personally, like I said, I don't want to date a bisexual man. I just don't. I have nothing against people that date bisexual men. That's just my preference. Um, and a lot of times it's women a lot of women are compromising themselves because they consider that there's no such thing. Dudes are in jail. Dudes are dating multiple women. But if you're in an open relationship, then you can't be mad. Same thing. So if he told you that he's bisexual and you just chose to believe it, you chose to go with it, then that's personally on you. But I don't think that we're skipping out on long lasting relationships. That's a crock of S. And it's funny that this is now even being a topic of conversation. If you want bisexual men, if you want to date you a woman, go ahead and shoot your shot. But make sure that you are most definitely honest about your sexual preferences, so that they don't try and bash you as being down low. That's a whole nother topic in itself. Um, but we need to get into the normalcy of that. So, like I said, go ahead and drop into the comments. I'm gonna just go back and just like read the comments as far as like mental health. And so, some people don't get a therapist because they're not honestly knowing where they come from to be vocal with. I think that's what she was trying to say. And so, basically, you're right. I mean, most people don't know to go to therapists because they don't feel like they're trustworthy people and things like that. And but understand that this is a confidence in a relationship. Nobody, if you going to a mental health therapist or a psychologist or psychiatrist, what have you, that does not make you crazy. It actually makes you a dope ass human being because you're trying to get your life together and you want that. We always want you to have your best self. What else did it say? But most definitely, once again, we need to check in on all of our friends and all of our family all the time. And that should be the biggest thing that we do. Friends that don't have anything, but please check up with them during this time. Chances are we might be going back into quarantining. So mental health once again. And I'm going to continue to jump around with these same subjects and topics as people continue to comment and jump into the comments about mental health. So mental health, narcissistic relationships. Like I said, I was in a narcissistic relationship. It was a really bad relationship that I chose to carry on for 3 years until I did my own mental health awareness and understood that it wasn't just me, it was him too. And so um, it wasn't just him, it was me too, and I was enabling him to do certain things to me. When I knew that that was wrong, I was allowing him to come in and play on my mental stability and tell me that things that I knew were wrong, I just chose not to do. And so once we get into that, um, once we get into recognizing relationships and things like, recognizing the type of relationships that we actually want and deserve, we have a better chance of building long lasting relationships. That is the key to a long lasting relationship. And a lot of times, a lot of women are avoiding long lasting relationships, and it's not because of choice, it's because they don't understand the concept of a relationship. Relationships go through ups and downs, ladies and gentlemen. They go through ups and downs constantly. And by them doing that, we have to be willing to put in the work and the time with any relationship. But I also feel like we should be able to weigh the pros and the cons um, with any relationship. If they're not equaling out, or the pros are not weighing over the cons, then you don't need to be with that person. It's nothing wrong with saying, hey, me and this person ain't gonna, we can't make it, either, I got my hang up or he got our hang up or we just can't seem to get it together. There's nothing wrong with that. And then also, we have women and men have an issue with bouncing from relationship to relationship. Take your time to recover from the last relationship. You don't realize the significant damage, especially when you've been with somebody over 6 months or something like that. You don't realize the impact that that person has on your life. You might find yourself speaking their euphemisms or um, doing their routine because you and this person have now became one. So and just normalize. If you know that you don't want to be cheated on, why would you continue to be cheated on, or why are you willing to accept it? If that's the case, then you go ahead and you switch it to an open relationship, but then that's not really what you want. You just did it because you were trying to keep a person. So we have to understand these things, and once we do that, um, we'll all be better people. I mean, nobody stop thinking that we all perfect and all. I see people write memes and then they go back and they embarrass themselves to the person that is honestly cheating on them. And the only reason why you chose not to do it, you chose that because you don't want to be alone for the holidays. Be alone. Pick up a new hobby. Write write a book. That's a classic cliche because I think that's corny. I wouldn't even write a book myself. But I just don't want to relive certain things. But I think that you compromising yourself to be with somebody just because you don't want to be alone, that's absolutely asinine. We should never do that. And so once again, so let's just take a little quick breather, real quick, a couple seconds, and we'll refocus it. So once again, if you haven't tuned in, you didn't see the start of live probably like 29 minutes ago. I'm your girl, Red Guy Sash. This is our show. Let's talk about it. Tonight I'm alone without my co-host Casanova. That's cool. And but we wanted to get this done. So it's happy holidays from Casanova and I. Um, but we wanted to get this done before the end of the year because we have a couple of shows coming up. So that's gonna be really dope. But we wanted to really focus on mental health in the holidays, narcissistic relationships. These are all the things that we've all experienced um, through this pandemic and stuff, and I know we get tired of talking about the pandemic, but a lot of times it's part of the reason. So we want to focus on mental health through the holidays, narcissistic relationships. Once again, the spicy, spicy question of the night: Black women, are we skipping out on long-lasting relationships because we choose not to shoot our shot first, or because we choose not to date bisexual men? And I just think that, how do you feel about that? Let's say shooting your shot first. I'll go back. Shooting your shot first does not determine if you are going to have a long lasting relationship. Let's say that. Okay. Let's get into the normalcy of that. Um, I suggest if you do shoot your shot first. If you don't, you see somebody that you have your eye on and he is single or she is single or they are single. Um, I don't think that you shouldn't shoot your shot. I'm old fashioned. I like to chase. I have shot my shot before a few times. But I'm not. I don't. It's not that I didn't get turned down. It's just they end up being crazy, and that's because I just didn't do my research enough to know. So once again, we'll get into it, and we'll talk about it. I don't think that we should be settling for less in this time of now, and everybody speaks of the everybody speaks of self love and self awareness. Most definitely, self love, self awareness. But um, shooting your shot doesn't determine you. Every relationship is a toss up. Every relationship is a toss up. And once we get into understand that every relationship is a toss up, and you don't know, if this person is going to build a long lasting relationship, I think that we should never go into these relationships with longer. We should never do that. Um, Everybody goes through the honeymoon phase, but we should always be paying attention to who our mate is and what kind of mate that we have. Buying material things does not determine if you are going to be in a long lasting relationship. Um, Making Facebook stats and social media stats is not, and tagging photos does not determine if you're happy. People will deal with toxic relationships for comfortability because that is what's comfortable. Me, I'm a type of person, like, I don't like to start new relationships. So, and what I mean by that is, I'd rather work on the thing that I started because I don't like to meet new people. I have to figure out what they like, what they don't like, um, what they don't like to eat, what makes them tick, and I don't like any of that. That process is like, to me, I call that the interview process. So I literally do not like any of that when I have to start over at all, and we just have to deal with what is what it is, you know, you know. But I'm not about at this point in time in my life, me going through a series of bad relationships. I don't think that I think that everybody is like that, but I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. So I'm not dealing with narcissism because I told you I dealt with a narcissistic abusive relationship, and that wasn't for me. That also, that can, being in a bad relationship messes with your mental health. So we need to get, all of that goes into play. This fool is crazy, and I'm sleeping with one eye open, side eye, one eye open. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not gonna deal with it. I choose not to deal with it, and I'm not gonna deal with it. And men and women, men go through abusive relationships too. So do women. I mean, excuse me. So do men. And we have need to normalize that women abuse men too. 60, because I don't abuse men, but if you cheat on me, I will respectfully rock it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Um, and then I'll leave it alone. I'm not about to go back and forth. I'm not about to do all that million times a day texts. I'm not about to say have a good day, sir, and have a good day. We're not doing that. I'm gonna let you go because I understand that at some point in time, I'm going to find somebody that is willing to work with me. Once again, I think now in the time that we live in, where role reversal has changed. Times have changed, so the woman is just really just not at home. I think that's part of the issue as well. You know, women are now being in the forefront of the household, and when they come into it, they don't know how to submit. Submit is not letting a man tell you what to do. Submit is when a man is providing for you the way that you need to do. Alpha female, you have no problem submitting to a man that provides for all of your needs. It is nothing wrong with letting a man take the role and taking his rightful throne. Every man's a king. So, excuse me, out of, him taking his rightful throne. And when we learn to submit and learn to sometimes just shut up and be quiet, we're not right all the time. I'm not right all the time. I got a big mouth. That's why I sit up on this podcast and I chat my lips off. But at the same time, I sometimes need to step back and understand that, you know, from the outside looking in, he might be able to provide me a point of view that I never seen or a perception that I've ever seen. And that's another thing about um, self help and mental health. Allow someone to come in, not everybody, a confidant. Allow someone to come in and actually provide pointers about what you did wrong. And the first step is shutting up and not be defensive. I know it's hard. I do it too. But we have to get into everybody doesn't have to. Everybody is not telling you something just to be telling you something and be all your business. And sometimes it's for you. You know, we have to be able to take constructive criticism off of life. We need to prepare our children for that as well. Um, but once again, so we'll take a little break, 5 second pause, stop the conversation, wait for some more viewers to jump back in. They don't necessarily have to, but hey, I'm already live, so let's just talk about it again. So shout out to my sponsors and collaborators. I am wearing it. It's a cute little sweater short set. I am wear.com with the code RedGal Sasha, RedGal, REDGAYL, and hotel collection. Hotel collection is all one word. This our long lasting candle. Like I said, I've had this candle for like 2 or 3 months. It is made from essential oils. It smells amazing, and I'm not saying that because we collaborating. That's a fact. I'm not gonna stand behind any product that I didn't think of. But shout out to the wholesale collection. Code Christina. Christina is with a K 20. And this particular candle is the Great Gatsby. And this particular oil diffuser, like I said, I've had this diffuser probably like maybe 3 months. This is the same amount of oil. Sometimes I don't have time to light a candle or I don't feel like it, and I'll come in my house still smelling fresh. I almost forgot what the scent was, but then it's this. So you turn the heat on and then it's activated. Once again, let's get back into the conversation. Like and share, like and share. Shout out to my co-host Casanova that is out here being the dopest single dad ever. And so that's why he is not here tonight. We had to re-record this show because we missed out on audio, and I just thought it was a dope conversation to have. And so this is our wrap up. This is one of our last shows of this season for the new 20 for the end of 2021. We will do a big a party on the air for New Year's. Guys, please join in. Please join in. We need to like and share comments. and just get into it. We want to talk about things that are uncomfortable. We also want to have fun. So we're gonna do the rapid for the year. We're gonna talk about, of course, COVID and blah 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 and all the stuff, King Von, Mo 3 and all of that stuff. We're gonna talk about all of that. But once again, our as you see the comment section below, mental health and relationships with the holidays and dealing with post COVID, narcissistic relationships. Once again, our African American women missing out on long lasting relationships simply because they choose not to shoot their shot first or because they will not date bisexual men. I got to smile on that one because that's the question of the night. But once again, let's shift it back to what we're talking about again. It's 30 minutes. Let's shift it back in again. Um, Personally, mental health, focus on your mental health. Everybody, the new thing is self help, self love, and self help. Get counseling and you focusing on mental health. That has nothing to do, with you focusing on your mental health has nothing to do with anything. We want to focus on our mental health. We want to most definitely do that. We want to, that is focusing on your mental health. Like I said, it conveys into other relationships constantly. And, once you focus on trying to make, us providing, you having the best you, life will be so much easier. So if you feeling like, the way the world is just on you and you don't understand things, most go speak to somebody, write in a journal, draw, tap that energy into something else. That mental that strain of life, speak to somebody. um Take your vitamin D. That vitamin D, once again, it helps with your mental health. We should be checking on our family and friends during this time, especially the people that don't have that many family members, or people that don't have a significant other, or don't have children, or kids have grown up and moved out of their houses. We need to be focusing on them and talking to them. And tread lightly when you talk to them. Don't go in with the condescending finger. Go in asking in a very caring manner, asking them about life and not trying to be nosy and intrusive. Don't do those things. We need to focus on that. But if you do not have anybody to talk to, you don't feel comfortable going to a crisis center, or going to a mental health therapist or psychologist, or confiding in your family and friends, most definitely journal. And then most of them do that. Narcissistic relationships, you can either choose to be in one or choose not to be in one. I don't think us, I don't personally think us or black women are biphobic. I think that we know what we want as a man that provides for our home. Same thing with men, because that we can turn this wisdom to this if we really wanted to. It's a little bit different with bisexual women and men dating. There's a different stereotype for that. It's okay for a woman to like another woman and bring that into the relationship. But us as women, why do we have to be biphobic because we choose not to date a bisexual man? Like I said, we just have our own ideology. Some women will date a bisexual man. I personally, I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to. I don't, and I have nothing against it. It's just that's not my preference, and I won't allow you to classify me as a person that's bipolar because if you know me in real life, that's absolutely not true. So, are they skipping out because they choose not to date? I think choosing to date a bisexual woman, I mean a bisexual man, is really about preference. I really, 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 really think that's about preference, most definitely. And so, don't let anybody tell you any otherwise about you know that. I just personally don't think that that should ever be an issue, because you choose not to date a bisexual man. I just don't think that that is. I just don't think that 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 it makes you bipolar because you choose not to. I think Like I said, personally, I think the person that actually created the initial content for this particular question, I think she either knew bisexual men or she dated bisexual men in previous time. And so, it is fun tickets for men, but then, like I said, go ahead and shoot your shot. If you feel like you're missing out, go ahead and shoot your shot. Like, I don't think that you doing that is going to determine if you're in a lasting relationship. It's about the person that's willing to do the work, people willing to compromise, because we all come in saying we're not going to compromise something. So I personally believe, like, it's about compromising working. And you should be working towards something. You should be working towards an ultimate goal if you are going to be in a relationship with somebody. So whether it's to get a ring or and be married, and then understand that we have to go without the ideology of being married. That's another thing, you know, the ideology of being married. We have to stop that. We have to. We have to stop that in itself, you know. So,
So once you do that,
sorry, just trying to make sure I can see the comments. But once you do that, as far as like compromising with people that you are, you want to build healthy relationships. You don't want anybody that doesn't want to have your best interest. And with narcissism, a narcissist will basically blame. Basically, they will place blame on you, and they will never take responsibility for the actions that have happened inside of this relationship. And we have to deal. It's us being in that relationship that happens. Um, Another thing that we have to do is get out of our mind of being stuck in what the past relationship is. That's how you miss out on long lasting relationships because you could be in a dope ass relationship, but you're so focused about what happened in the past relationship that you can't get out of your own way. And once we realize that everybody is not the same, every woman is not the same, everybody is not evil, and people really do work on themselves, you will be in a much, much better place. Once again, make sure that you focus on. We're gonna maybe we did do this in an hour, y'all. I thought we were gonna do a little more commentary, but that's fine. Once again, just because I am not live, that does not mean that I do not respond to the live, cause I do. I see everything. That's part of being in the business. I see everything. So um, go ahead and comment, go back and read. Please like and share. Once again, I'm gonna do just a brief overload because we are coming to a close. We have about a good 12 minutes. So we'll go into an overload once again. So you see the comments below. It's your girl Red Got Fast. Thank you for tuning in tonight for Let's Talk About It, our Christmas edition without my co-host. I kind of miss him. Don't tell him that I told you that. But we are going to get into that. Mm, And so you see it. It's mental health through the holidays and narcissistic relationships. Also, African American women, brown and black women. This doesn't even include this is any woman. You could say that. I'd rather say that. I'm so comfortable to say African American women. There's a lot of stuff that I gear towards African American women, but this particular comment, this is for every woman because I feel like we have this issue with all of us. Um, are we missing out on long lasting relationships because we choose not to date bisexual men and we choose not to shoot our shot first? I'm not dating no bisexual man. I have nothing against bisexual or gay people or anybody. I just that's my personal preference. I don't want to date a man because in the back of my mind, I'm going to create insecurities un- unknowingly creating insecurities because I want to think about it um that um that he's possibly dating or he's having sexual activities with another man prior to him seeing me. I don't want to risk that. And then at that point, if everybody is not in communication or anything like that, I feel like we have, I feel like there's not communication, there's spread disease and all those things like that. And that's not with everybody. If you properly communicate everything that you have going on in your relationship, you won't ever have the issue of you didn't know. Because I feel like, okay, if you're going to be a bisexual man, hey, that's fine. But you need to communicate that with your partner. That is not my preference, but like I said, you need to communicate that with your partner. And you should be comfortable enough to experience, expose that. I don't know, you know, how it will work as far as like sexual wise. Would you intertwine those? Would that be like a polyamorous relationship? So maybe we'll focus on that coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna take about a week off. We're gonna do we have a series of rebranding that is happening with all of our shows. So you'll be seeing them in a lot more frequency. It's just because we're getting back to normal life, and I just been a really busy woman, and my co-host has been a really busy nurse and a dad. So we don't do it as frequently as we normally do, but we will be back um, doing all our co-hosts and all of that. So we'll work on that. I'm sorry for the background. There is somebody walking by that is singing and probably drunk because it's Christmas Eve. But let's once again let's focus in on this. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Let's go ahead and bring it to a close. We'll probably end a little bit early. So let's focus in again. Mental health through the holidays and uh, relationships and dating post COVID. Mental health is not just through the holidays and it's not just post COVID. But I think these particular things are the biggest attributes of suicide and um, severe bouts of depression. Right now, it's cold outside. There is no sunlight. Sunlight brings happiness and joy, and it brings the vitamins that we need to attain mental health and wealth. I think that we should also take care of our body. So a lot of it is what you eat. So make sure that you take those vitamins and vitamin D. I always going to keep telling you to take care of yourself. I firmly believe in that. And I also think that self love is also includes mental health and healthy relationships at home. So let's get out of the way of those narcissistic relationships. Let's stop blaming ourselves if we're not in full-on committed relationships. Let's stop doing that and let's focus on the beauty the beautiful things and the beautiful parts of life that are with us. The most once people stop attaining mental or equating mental health, excuse me, equating material things to happiness, we will be better people. And so we need to get into that. So, folks, and I apologize if you see looking down. It's just me looking at the monitor to see if I have comments because I feel like those are important. But we have to really work on mental health and everything. Have to work on that. We have to work on mental health. Stop thinking that relationships are the key. If you want to date a bisexual man, by all means date a bisexual man. If you want to shoot your shot first, make sure you shoot your shot at the person that you feel like is worth it. Don't waste your time on a project. You'll kick yourself later about time and things like that. Um, this was a dope ass little podcast. Um, we might do a part two to this. So I'm really, we might do a part two to this with mental health and narcissistic relationships and um, Are we missing out on long lasting relationships with women because we won't shoot our shot and we're not willing to date bisexual men? Let's once again say that everybody's not down and around to date bisexual men, so leave that as like a statement. Like and share, comment. What I would like for you to do over the next couple of days, um, I would like for you guys to inbox me some topics that you would want to hear us talk about that you feel like I haven't talked about. I try to remain as relevant as possible and talk about stuff based on the times. I don't really try to like get into topics that are close, but I want to try to make sure that stuff is really relevant. Let's talk about it. We'll take a break for possibly about 3 weeks, and we will get into the fun part of the Let's Talk About It page and in Living Color Entertainment. We're gonna talk about sex, baby. So you'll see us talking about our wow wow thoughts. So tune in to wow wow thoughts. Join the live, join the live, because me and my friends are crazy. And I have so many questions I would love to ask. And I would love to I thank you guys for joining me tonight. Once again, it's your girl Red Gal Sash. If you like my outfit tonight, for the thick girls, for the skinny girls, wear.com. Use my code REDGAL, REDGYAL. Also, shout out to the Hotel Collection if you are into candles and diffusers and candle warmers. This is the best candle. Okay, I've had this candle for months. It is made from essential oils. I actually spilled it on myself and rubbed it in my skin. And it was shiny, nice, and it ain't probably no rash because it's still sensitive. Hotel Collection, all one word.com. Use the product code Christina20. Christina is spelled with a capital K, so it is KRISTINA, all cap letters 20. And thank you and have a good night. Once again, if you don't have anybody that you can speak to about mental health, call a crisis center. Make sure you journal. Pour it into art. Pour it into things that you are really passionate about that create peace. I am a big fan of peace. Like anybody or anything interrupts your peace, get rid of it at all costs. You know what my slogan is. There's a lot of shit talking and all. Thank you. It's your girl Red Stash. Spread love, not hate. Like and share the page. Get on Anchor, Instagram, YouTube, and we will see you guys over the course of our little vacation on Bigo Live. We're gonna get a spicy on Bigo Live. So Bigo Live and Instagram, I'm gonna get real spicy over the next couple of days. So I will see you guys there. Thank you. Peace, love, and soul glow. I love you. Make sure that you guys tune in. And once again, if you have any topics that we want to talk about, make sure that you get into the Let's Talk About It business page, and we do respond, guys. So inbox us and see you guys later. Have a happy new year and a happy holiday. Love on your family and friends. Hug them and kiss them twice. When you wake up in the morning, you just know that you have a chance to do it over. Have a good night, y'all.